Hello and welcome to this Zoom video tutorial. Today we're going to talk about how you can host a Zoom meeting. So it's very important that you've already watched the join a meeting video, the meeting basics, and the schedule a Zoom meeting, as we'll be building on some of those same concepts here in this video. So first and foremost, to be a host of the meeting, it's very important that you are signed in to the Zoom desktop client. That's the software that you download when you initially join a meeting for the first time. So if I go and search for Zoom on my computer, I've got this Zoom app. When I click on it to launch it, I should get this screen on my computer. I'm going to click the sign in button, and then you can sign in using specific Zoom credentials that you've set up, or you can use the sign in with Google option. Either option is fine. Once you're signed into the desktop client, you're introduced to this interface. So the big areas here is you can do an instant meeting, you can join other individuals' meetings, you can schedule a meeting, and you can also do a share screen from this point. You also have, so we're currently on the Home tab. There is a chat feature. You can see all the meetings that you've scheduled here in this tab, and then also any context that you've added to this system. One side note while we're here, if you click on your profile picture, you can see what account type that you have, if it's a licensed paid version or if it's simply just the basic account. So to host a meeting, you typically go to the Meetings tab and then click on the specific meeting to start it. In this case, we're just going to do a new instant meeting. So now that the meeting has loaded, we can go ahead and talk about some of these settings that would be ideally to you as the host of the meeting. So it's very important that you've got the mute and stop video that you have available too, so you have control of your own camera. We're going to focus more on the Participants tab. So as a participant, you have some capabilities that you as the host can do for your participants. So for example, when you highlight over a participant, you have this More option, and you have different capabilities. So you can choose to chat with that person individually, you can choose to stop their video, you can make them the host, and in this case, if I make you the host, that is removing that mantle from me to you. So you wouldn't want to give this to just a random participant, because the only way to reclaim host during the meeting is they have to give that back to you. You can, so in this case, this individual is already a co-host, so I can withdraw that permission from them. So now they're just a regular participant. I have the option to allow that person to record. I can assign them to be a closed captioner. I can also choose to rename them if that's helpful. I also can put them in a waiting room, so maybe if you're doing more of a Zoom meeting for a office hours, while someone comes in, you can talk to them, and then once you're finished up, you can put them in the waiting room and bring in the next person. And then if you've got someone who is disruptive, you can remove them from the meeting. Once you remove them, they will not be able to access the meeting again, even if they have the link and passcode, because you've completely removed them, they can't get back in. So be aware of those things that you can do as the participant. Notice that I've got the invite button here, so I can invite people to the Zoom meeting while it's taking place. This is very important, this mute all. So if you come in and a lot of people have their mic unmuted, but they're not planning on speaking, so you're getting a lot of feedback, you can just do a mute all, and that will just turn everyone's mute off, so you can kind of start from scratch. To kind of get back control of the meeting if mics are going crazy. There's this More button here, and again, some of these are already in that Security tab, but just be mindful that you can find those settings here as well in the Participants tab. Now at this point, I do want to make a distinction between alternative host, co-host, and host. So an alternative host, that is someone that you can set while you're scheduling the meeting. That's typically going to be someone that is going to partner with you. So if you're not able to attend the meeting right away, they can get things started and will have host capabilities. You also have the ability for a co-host. Now a co-host is going to be more typically your guest lecturer. So I will say, like, your alt host can become a co-host. Giving the co-host responsibility to individuals in the meeting is more of that that temporary. So if you've got a guest lecturer, you provide them the link, and then you can make them a host so they can do their presentation. And then, as I talked about, you've got that host capability. Now, for the most part, host and co-host have the same types of responsibilities. The only real main difference of what a co-host can't do is if you plan on using breakout rooms. Currently, the host is the only one who can create and assign those. And again, there'll be a video that talks more about breakout rooms in more detail. But that's generally the responsibility of the host in the meeting, is they can control other users' mics, video, making them stop. You have the security settings. You can also record the meeting. Again, most of these main features will go into detail, but as you can see from this toolbar, you have a lot more features that you can do as a host and as a participant. So if you have any additional questions, feel free to contact the ITRC.